Welcome again to another one of my sessions. In this session, we will be looking at how to simplify questions using the laws of indices. If you haven't looked at my previous video on laws of indices and how some of them are derived, please be sure to do so. So let's get started. Our first question reads, 3 to the power 4 multiplied by 3 to the power 5. So based on the laws of indices, we will remember that when we multiply two index numbers with the same base, we simply add our indices or powers. So we are going to get 3 to the power 4 plus 5, and that is going to give us 3 to the power 9. Next question. 4 to the power 4 multiplied by 4 to the power negative 2. So that again is another multiplication question. Same base, so we simply add our powers. So we are going to get 4 to the power 4 plus negative 2. And we are going to get 4 to the power 2. Remember that plus and that minus sign comes together and we change that to a minus. So it's going to get 4 minus 2, which is 2. Okay, so our next question, y to the power 0 multiplied by y to the power negative 3. And again, another multiplication. So we say y to the power 0 plus negative 3. Those two sign changes to a minus. So you get 0 minus 3. You get negative 3. Next, we have negative 2 to the power 3 multiplied by negative 2 to the power 2. Again, this is another multiplication question, and even though our base is negative 2, it's still the same basis for both of these expressions. So we get negative 2 raised to the power of 3 plus 2. We are going to get negative 2 to the power of 5. Next question. 3 to the power 2a multiplied by 3 to the power 4a. Now, even though our powers here are in the form of algebraic expressions, we still apply our same law. So it's going to be 3 to the power 2a plus 4a, and we are going to get 3 to the power of 6a. Next, a to the power 2 raised to the power 5. Now, based on our laws of indices, when one power is raised to another power, we have to multiply those two indices. So we get a to the power of 2 multiplied by 5, and this is going to give us a to the power 10. Next question, we have 2 to the power 2, and that is raised to the power of 3. So again, this is just like the question we worked previously. We are going to say 2 raised to the power of 2 multiplied by 3. We are going to get 2 to the power 6. Next, 2c to the power 2 raised to the power of 3. Now, this question is a bit different in that this entire bracket is raised to the power of 3. It isn't just that c to the power 2 raised to the power 3. It's that entire expression in the bracket. So I will expand this out and you will see what our result is going to be. So this is going to be 2c squared by itself 3 times. So what we will get is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, and that is going to give us 8. And then C is going to be raised to the power of 6. Why 6? Remember, when we are multiplying and we have the same base, we simply add our powers. So we get 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So what this simply means is that when you have a question like this, you have to raise your 2 to the power of 3 as well as that C to the power 2. So this would have really been 2 to the power 3 multiplied by C to the power 2 to the power 3. So I raise each one of these to the power of 3. So 2 to the power 3 and C to the power 2, then raised to the power of 3. And we know 2 to the power 3 will give us 8. And we know C to the power 2 raised to the power 3, I'm going to have to multiply these two. So I'm going to get 2 by 3 is 6. So it's going to be C to the power 6. And that is how we get that answer without having to write out all of this. Let's try our next question. A to the power 4, B to the power 2 raised to the power of negative 2. So now here you can see that this question is similar to our previous question. So now we know we have to raise A to the power 4. We have to raise this to the power of negative 2 as well as B to the power 2. This needs to be raised to the power negative 2. So what we are going to get, we're going to get A to the power of negative 8, because remember those need to be multiplied, and B is going to be raised to the power negative 4. Next, 2b to the power 2 raised to the power 3 multiplied by 2b to the power 2 raised to the power 4. So now what we must do is raise each one of these to the power 3, as well as this is going to be raised to the power 4. So we are going to get 2 to the power 3, b to the power 2 also raised to the power 3 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 4 and b to the power 2 raised to the power 4. So we are raising each one of these in the brackets to that power outside there. Now, if you take a look at this, you will realize that we have 2 raised to the power 3, and here we have 2 raised to the power 4, and they are being multiplied. So apart from working with B as the same base, we have 2 as well being the same base here. So we can simplify this as 2 to the power of 4 plus 3 is going to give us 7. Remember, when we are multiplying with the same base, we add our powers. So we're going to get 3 plus 4, that is going to give us 7. And now we have here 2 raised to the power 3, and that is going to be 6. And here we have 2 raised to the power 4, and that is going to give us 8. And then now we are multiplying it, so we have to add our powers. So we are going to get here now b to the power of 14. So this one involves a lot of working and some thinking, right? So don't forget to look out for if there are more than one bases that may be the same, as in this case there was 2 being the same as 2 across here, and that was a base. and b here as well as here, that was another base being the same. Okay, let's look at our next question. 5 to the power 2 raised to the power a by 5 to the power a raised to the power 4. Right, so we notice that we have the same bases and we are multiplying. So we will have to add our indices. But before we add our indices, we need to simplify this here. And that is going to give us 5 to the power 2a, because we know 2 multiplied by a is going to give us 2a. And this is going to be multiplied by 5 to the power 4a, because we know a multiplied by 4 is going to give us 4a. So now we can add our powers. We will get 5 raised to the power 2a plus 4a, and that is going to be 6a. Next, z to the power 3 divided by z to the power 2. Now, according to our laws of indices, we will see that when we divide index numbers with the same base, we simply take away our powers. So this is going to be z to the power 3, take away 2, we are going to get z to the power 1. Next, 8 to the power 3 divided by 8 to the power negative 3. It is similar to the question we just worked. So here we just need to take away our powers because we are dividing. So it's going to be 3, take away negative 3, and those two signs coming together is going to change to a plus. So it's going to be 8 to the power of 6. Next question. Z to the power 3 divided by z to the power negative 4. Again, similar to that question we just worked. So it's going to be z to the power 3, take away negative 4. Those two signs going to change to plus. So it's going to be z to the power of 7. Next question. 6a to the power 3 divided by 2a. Now, if we look at this, we will realize that this 6 and this 2 isn't represented in index form. So we don't have basically the same base in this case. So what we'll have to do is say 6 divided by 2, we are going to get 3, and then we work our a separately. So this is going to be a to the power 3 divided by a to the power of, I don't see an index here, but we know that this is understood to be 1. Remember, anything to the power of 1 is going to be equal to itself. So when you see a variable without an index, it is understood to the power of 1. So here we are going to get 3, take away 1, we are going to get 2. So it's going to be a to the power of 2. Next, 15m to the power 3, k to the power 3 divided by 3m squared, k to the power 5. So this is similar to that question we just worked. I simply need to divide 15 by 3 and I'm going to get 5. And then m to the power 3 divided by m to the power 2, I simply take away my powers. 3 take away 2 is going to give me 1. And k to the power 3 divided by k to the power 5, that is going to be 3 take away 5, which is negative 2. So it's going to be k to the power negative 2. Next question. Q.
Okay, so our next question, Q. A, B to the power 2 raised to the power 3 divided by A, B to the power 2. Now, Here I am seeing that these two needs to be raised to the power 3. So I'm going to raise a to the power 3 and I'm going to raise b to the power 2 to the power 3. And that is being divided by a b to the power 2. So let's simplify this part here first. We are going to get a to the power 3, b to the power 6. Remember, that is being multiplied there, right? So 3 by 2 is 6 divided by a b to the power 2. Remember, when we are dividing, we need to take away our powers. So here it's understood that this power is 1 because I don't see a power there. So it's going to be a raised to the power 3, take away 1, that is 2, and b is raised to the power 6, take away 2, that is 4. Next, I have c to the power 2 multiplied by c to the power 0 divided by c. Okay, so we know that here is understood to be 1. So let's work our multiplication part first. So it's going to be c to the power 2 plus 0 is going to be 2, and that is going to be divided by c to the power 1. When we are dividing, we take away our indices, so it's going to be c to the power 1. 2 take away 1 is 1. Next. Okay, so part S, 27 c to the power 2 multiplied by c to the power negative 1 divided by 9 c to the power 4. Okay, now in this case, it is a bit similar to the one we just did. Now, what I was supposed to have done is really do division first, because according to BODMAS, division comes before multiplication. But you would notice that if you had decided to do division first, you would have arrived at the same answer, right? But let's get into the practice of doing our operations in order, because in some instances your answers will vary, right? And the correct way to do it is using BODMAS, which means division comes before multiplication. So let's do our division first. It's going to be c to the power negative 1 divided by 9c to the power 4. Now, because we don't have a number or a coefficient in front of c, it's understood to be 1. So that is going to be 1 divided by 9, which is 1/9. And c to the power negative 1 divided by c to the power 4, remember we have to take away our indices. So it's going to be negative 1, take away 4, that's going to be negative 5. Now I'm going to put this back here. Then we are going to perform our multiplication. 27 multiplied by 1/9 is going to give us 3. Remember, 27 over 1 multiplied by 1/9. 9 into 27 is 3. So you get 3. And then c is raised to the power 2. And that is being multiplied by c to the power negative 5. And when we are multiplying, we add our indices. So we are going to get 2 plus negative 5, and that is going to be negative 3. Next, t, we have 3ab to the power 4 multiplied by 6a to the power negative 5b squared. So here we must multiply our coefficients, that 3 and 6. We are going to get 18. And remember, when we are multiplying, we need to add our indices, right? So it's a to the power 1. It's understood to be to the power 1 there. So it's going to be 1 plus negative 5, and we are going to get negative 4. Then b, that is raised to the power 4, and here it's raised to the power 2. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Next, our last question. It's negative 2x to the power 3 y to the power 0 multiplied by negative 2 x to the power 2 y to the power negative 5. So here it's negative 2 by negative 2. So we will get positive 4, or we could have written negative 2 to the power 2, because remember this is understood to be to the power 1. We could consider this as if it was a base and an index. So you can write it one of two ways. You can write it as the 4 or negative 2 to the power 2. Then it's going to be x raised to the power 3 multiplied by x to the power 2. So we are going to add those powers. We're going to get 5. So we're going to write this here as well. And y is raised to the power 0 here. And here it's raised to the power negative 5. And we are multiplying, which means that we add our indices. 0 plus negative 5 is going to be negative 5. So you can write it one of two ways, this here or this, and any answer is going to be correct. Both of them are the same. And that's it there. We have just worked through some questions and applied the laws of indices to simplify them.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of my videos.